All right, I'm back again with Joseph Caplan, the author of The Money Man, which is available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, lots of books, and I highly recommend it. But one of the things I think that puzzles a lot of people is, when you talk about having a relationship with God, what in the world does that really mean? And how do we know if we're in a good relationship with God?
That, Lynn, is a very vital, important question. It's vital because I may have already said it on one of our segments. If you don't have a relationship with God, then you have a lot to worry about. But your question, which is so important, what is a relationship with God? Well, you can go to a synagogue every week, you can go to a church every week, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you're in the right house of worship, and you've got the right pastor or the right rabbi, there's no question you're learning about the Word of God. But a lot of people today either aren't listening when they're sitting down, and they are not going, or they get bored and they stay at home and they think it's a waste of time. But on the other hand, we have the ability to get close to God whether we go to church or not. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, it's all in the Bible. I mean, some people are scared of the Bible. I was. It's not such a big book. It's just that there are so many different stories. But I want to tell you, those stories represent everything that happens in life. The truth and lies, success and failure, honesty, dishonesty, everything you can think of is reflected in the many, many stories in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And there's a lot to be said about the link between the two testaments, which we'll talk about another day. The reality is this: there is a spiritual life. There is a life in the world beyond our life. I mean, everybody knows that people die, and then the question arises, where do they go? What do they do when they die? Now, I've had people say to me, I don't care. I don't care where I end up. The fact is, I'm here in the world. I want to enjoy myself, and I'm not interested in anyone telling me about God. Fine, that's their decision. One of the biggest things you have to realize is that God has given us the right to make our own decisions about everything in life. How we're going to walk, how we're going to treat people, and then the result of that is that we can't blame anybody if we make a wrong decision. We can't blame anybody if things go badly. Sometimes things go badly and we have no control over them. It might be health, for example, and it might be a business decision that we've made. I made business decisions that, my gosh, what I would only do to be able to turn the clock back and do things in a different way. But it's too late now. Did I ever ask God for help? No. Why didn't I do that? Because I trusted myself. In the Bible there's an expression, don't lean to your own understanding. Most of us do that. We do lean to our own understanding. And I did that, and I made huge mistakes. I trusted in people I should never have trusted in. I trusted in decisions because I had years that were so wonderful. It never occurred to me that anything could possibly go wrong. But when things did go wrong, I had nothing to hold on to. I was alone. People turned against me. The press turned against me. Family members turned against me. I had a loving wife who did not turn against me. She did everything she could to help me to get back on my feet so that I could start again and do something worthwhile with my life. It took a long time. I tell you what I did, and it's free. I began to pray. Now, to start with, I didn't know how to pray, and I was a bit scared. I was praying to God whom I didn't know, but He knew me, and now I realize how well He knew me.